Hey, it's Avery. I just wanted to blab a little bit before we get to our main topic. If you know me, you know that I don't use Snapchat like at all, but I got these Snapchat spectacle things, which is what I'm filming this on right now, and they're actually really cool. I can record stuff from my face, which is actually a feature I really like. You know, it's the whole Google Glass thing of being able to just look around. Not a huge fan of the circular aspect ratio, but what are you gonna do? Certainly doesn't shoot 4K 60 like the G9 we have over here, but... Oh, and to those people who think wearing this makes you look like a dork, you are 100% correct. I am fully expecting this video to get like no views, so if you enjoyed the video, please comment that you enjoyed it. Let me know. I'm actually gonna put these glasses back on. You know who it is, it's Avery. And I am here to talk about, well, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a movie called Welcome to Marwen, and you can see some information back here about it. It has Robert Zemeckis and Steve Carell, so I was interested. I am unsure of what I was exactly expecting. I guess I didn't really look into the movie that much, like the synopsis, before I actually saw it, but I really liked it. It did not do very well in the box office, but this camera appears to have some wibble wobbles going on here. You see that? Ooh, that's not good. But some really good movies haven't done very well in the box office, so I guess in the end, it's really your opinion of the movie that matters the most. The film is a true story. It's about Mark Hogancamp, who, while at a bar, gets attacked nearly to death after he mentions that he's a crossdresser to some monsters hanging around a bar, I guess. Mark forgets everything because of the attacks, and at some point during his recovery, he has to take his resuscitation into his own hands. My understanding is because he can't afford it, which is sad that if you can't afford it, you're screwed. But at some point during this DIY recovery, Mark creates a tiny World War II era town in his backyard, with its citizens being completely composed of dolls, each doll being an alter ego of a person who exists in real life, including Mark himself. And he photographs the events that happen in this town and creates these really, really intricate pictures. I can't show any of them now for copyright reasons, but feel free to give it a Google and you'll know what I'm talking about. That whole story isn't really mine to tell, so I'd really encourage you to watch the film or the documentary called Marwen. And by the way, Marwen is the name of this fictional mini town. This whole idea of becoming so immersed in something that it becomes your reality, it becomes real to you, you know. It's a way to escape the world around you. And that really spoke to me. Obviously, I've never gone through any experience as traumatic as Mark's, but the idea of becoming obsessed with something so much that you choose that thing, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, over reality, is something I feel like I can relate to. If you're also a furry, that's what it's about for some people, you know. I mean, that's it for me, often. Real life sucks. You have to deal with stuff, you have bills to pay, money to make. I'm going to college soon. I'm terrified. On a regular basis, I get confused on my own existence. Sometimes I feel as if I'm watching my life unfold, almost as a third party, as if I'm watching TV. So it's no wonder that I have this nice fuzzy character that provides an escape. And I've always been obsessed with things. I mean, I've talked about that before. For the last several years, it's been making my videos. Before that, it was probably like my website or something. I could go on and on in that respect. Point is that I think Mark's story is very inspiring in many ways. So my natural instinct was eBay. I said eBay. One of my ex-obsessions was autographs. I gathered a lot of really cool autographs. Christopher Lloyd, John Glenn, who went to space, Jane Goodall, Nicolas Cage, although the Nicolas Cage one might a thing a robot signed. That's a long story. Okay, let's see here. We gotta go through. I think what we're looking for is in here. Aha! This. Fragile. Let's see here. This is the actor who played Kit from Knight Rider.
It's only 5 miles to the county line. Let's hit the turbo.
Very good thinking, Mike.
Jeff Kinney, the guy who wrote Diary of a Wimpy Kid, got that one in person. Here's me and my father at a Google Glass event in Detroit. That's unrelated. 9 years old. I think most of the other autographs are stowed away somewhere. Why were autographs so appealing to me, you may ask? I think it's because the person who signed it, they were right there. They touched the autograph, you know? And I think that's kind of cool. And I really wanted to find something like that for Mark Hogancamp because it's a bit of inspiration, you know? I think there's this sort of awe effect, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, most of the stuff I found were like Blu-rays for the Marwen Cole documentary, posters, so, you know, nothing exceptional, but then I found something that I was like, whoa. The listing was near where Marwen Cole is located. It was actually a collection of listings, and they had a very strange story, you see. The person who listed them said that they moved into a house, and part of that house that they moved into was rented out to someone else, and for whatever reason that person ended up moving out of the house but left some of their stuff behind. And later a documentary crew shows up and starts talking about the person who used to live there was Mark Hogancamp. The listing says that they tried to get in contact with Mark to return some of the stuff he left, and eventually when this Steve Carell movie came out, they decided to list some of the drawings Mark left on eBay and donate all the money from those auctions to charity, which is like honestly probably the most morally sound way to resell stuff somebody left on eBay as far as I can ascertain. Most of these listings were drawings or photocopies of drawings that Mark had made at some point. I watched it for several days and I was like, I could buy one of these, put it in a video. I get to bring up Welcome to Marwen, which I thought was a really fascinating movie. I'd be able to kind of make like an ode to obsession, talking about how I sort of relate to that whole concept, and get to do what I'm doing now. And maybe, since YouTube videos are often seen by a larger amount of people than just an email or something, maybe I could get in contact with Mark and return the thing I got. Everyone wins. Although with the option of returning the thing to Mark, I'm out of a significant amount of money. Sucks. To be fair, if Mark is watching this, you know, if I left something and then somebody bought it and offered to return it, but they were like, oh yeah, you can have it back if you just pay the amount I paid for it, I'd be irritated because that's stupid. So I'm not gonna make you do that. If you're watching this, you can have it. Take risk, blow minds, that's what I'm going with. We've mentioned Steve Carell and Michael Scott once said, well, actually Michael Scott once said a lot of horrible things, but one of the good things Michael Scott said was, never settle for who you are. And I really think we should think about that. It appears at some point Mark photocopied one of his drawings. It has a knight on it, and there's a dragon, and that's the one I bid on, and I won the auction. It was expensive, but I mean, I knew if I didn't go for it, I would always wonder what could have happened if I did. And plus the money is going to some people in Zimbabwe, apparently, who need the money. So after my order got shipped, the auctioneer, the person who listed it, sent me a message saying that they had gotten an email from Mark saying that he would be happy to take the unsold drawings back. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but in the eBay listings, it did say at the bottom, you know, if you are Mark, let us know so we can send these back to you and we won't make you pay for it. Obviously, I'd be happy to return the one I got as well. So maybe I'll get a message from Mark himself. That would be pretty exciting, I think. But until then, I'm gonna hang on to the one I got for inspiration. But you're like, Avery, we haven't seen it yet. You have, all of this has been is just you showing us your hands. Okay, let's open it. I have had this package for actually quite a while, but I have not opened it yet. And it came in a nice package. Okay, what do we got? My understanding is these are a donation of US cash has been made on your behalf to an orphanage school in Zimbabwe. I think this is a legit thing. I know it's a cliche to be like, oh, I got an email from somebody in Zimbabwe. This is a very fascinating, look at this, $10 billion. This is what happens when your currency becomes so worthless that you just keep adding zeros. More prints inside made from original / only known copies found in my attic in New York on December 1st, 2018 and returned to Mark Hogancamp 2 weeks later. Yeah, I mean, these are really pretty. Obviously, these are made by Mark, so, you know, all credit to Mark. This is an original photocopy, okay? It appears Mark Hogancamp himself photocopied one of his drawings and left it in that dude's attic. And this is it. Check that out. This dragon, it says disease of addiction. That's, I would consider that a success. I mean, that's really cool. I'm sure somebody in the audience is like, oh, it's not even a drawing from Mark Hogancamp, it's just a photocopy, but prints are a thing. This is almost surely an original print, considering the fact that, I don't know, it's not like these were mass produced. It's probably Mark went to the library and got one of his drawings photocopied. So it's a real privilege to have it. If Mark is watching this, if you'd like to have it back, let me know and we can get that arranged. That's really all I have to say. I just wanted to sort of talk about obsession. You can create something that becomes real to you and use it as an escape from your reality, and I think that's a really powerful thing. And I felt like this was a really good excuse to be able to do that. And for the record, I believe these drawings, oh, I gotta turn my light back on. I believe the drawings I'm showing here were drawings made before Mark got attacked, and as such, Marwen wasn't a town yet. But the title, A Drawing from Marwen, is such an elusive title, I couldn't resist going with it. I do apologize if that misleads any of y'all. $10. $10 billion. That's really about it. That's all I got. I just wanted to share that with everyone. I would like to give a big shout out to my Patreon people, the people who support me, and it helped me in recouping the cost of this purchase. We have a new Patreon person named Shell. I think they're at like $20 or something, so thanks to them, that's huge. Obviously, we still have Samru, Bitae, Alex, Helix, Magic, Dex, Pudu, all these people still donating. I appreciate it so much. It makes these videos keep going, huh? If you did enjoy this video, please like, comment, or share it on Twitter or Reddit or somewhere, because I'm assuming this video isn't gonna get a lot of clicks because it's not like my typical videos. Bye.